Story family. This is Allison Gilliard with Run Your Story, where every story needs to be heard. And so very cool to sit down with my friend Willie, who I've known for years. And this is why I love this podcast so much, is because I've known Willie through Michelle and just love their relationship and who they are as a couple, and Reed, of course, is that I didn't really know Willie's run story. And this was so powerful and such a beautiful reminder of how important community really is. And as Willie shares, the running community really helped Willie blossom and grow, and just love that so much. And I'm so thankful for this running community because it brought me Willie and Michelle. And so I'm truly thankful for that. And again, running has opened up so many doors and so many friendships, and it's brought family. And I keep saying we have the best running community, we really do. So thank you, Willie, for opening up your heart and your story and for your friendship. You are absolutely amazing, and I love you, my friend. So thank you for doing this. And thank you, huge shout out for our Patreon family members. Absolutely love you guys. I can guarantee you that Run Your Story would not be where it is today if it wasn't for our Patreon supporters. They walk alongside us. They keep us encouraged, and they help cover the cost of this podcast. And so truly thankful for their friendship and the love that they have for this podcast. And so thank you to our Patreon supporters for fueling our podcast this month. You guys are the absolute best. So thank you so much for believing in Run Your Story. All right, guys, get ready, get set, and go run with my friend Willie and his Run Your Story. Oh, Willie. Oh my gosh. I used to tell people that we were like brother and sister, but now I can't say that because our kids are dating. So that would be like the most Alabama thing to say. So I inherited your friendship through Michelle.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great inheritance. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, it is.
That we put up with each other. I love it. So fun. Oh my gosh. We've been talking about this for a while. So I'm really excited that it's finally happening.
Me too.
Yeah. Finally got you off the truck and in the chair.
See how this goes.
It's going to be awesome. 10 out of 10.
I feel like I'm going to be ambushed.
Well, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start with, let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. Okay, so we have an extra question for you from our Patreon supporters. And that is, let's talk about the jazz hands.
Yeah, I know where that came from. So, there's a video floating around that may have gotten leaked on social media of my dancing prowess. And there may have been some jazz hands, if you will, or some loose fingers. But I've never professed to be a good dancer. It's more of just have fun. But like I said, I've had people call me out on social media.
I have no idea who that could be.
I've challenged said person, and I have yet to receive a legitimate response. So we'll take that as it is.
Okay.
But I just like to have fun and, dance like nobody's watching. And evidently they are watching.
I mean, that's probably one of my favorite things, is to go back and share a picture on your birthday on social media. That picture gets leaked a lot.
I know, and I hate it tremendously. It hurts to watch. I'm glad you're enjoying this.
This is amazing. Okay, so while you're here, let's talk about what is your run story.
Okay, so my stint with running started probably around 91-ish. Let me back up. I got into fitness and working out, and I was trying to be healthy and eating right and doing all this stuff. And I felt like I needed some cardio. And so I couldn't stand doing the treadmills and such. So I tried running, and I couldn't do it. I hated it. It was not fun. I didn't like it. But I was trying to be healthy. So I did that for a week or two. And I mean, it was horrible. I did that for a few weeks, and then I decided to buy a bicycle. And then I bought a bike. I quit running. I quit going to the gym. I quit all of it. I was a cyclist for many years after that. So for about 30 years, I was off and on, not consistently. But I was cycling. And a few times here or there, I would try to add in running, but it was more of just a way to burn some calories or to get some exercise. And it was never something I enjoyed. And I just never could take to it. And then fast forward, and I'm cycling and dabbling in other running and gym and stuff, but it's very little of any of that, very little. And so around 2016, I was in a position where I had a business that was struggling. I had a marriage that was struggling. And even as a father, I felt like I was struggling because I was working so much. I'm out of shape. I'm overweight. It was going through a really rough time, and the business was taking its toll on me mentally and physically. So around that time, I hit rock bottom and started looking for ways to get out of this funk I was in, because it was feeling like a failure in personal, business, everything. So I decided I had to fix myself first and started back exercising and was doing the gym thing again. And it wasn't cycling at all, because like during the time of the business, I wasn't cycling. I wasn't doing anything but eating pizza and getting fat. So when I started back trying to get some fitness and trying to get my mind right and get back relationships with friends, and because you lose a lot of that when you're just working all the time. And so I'm slowly getting all that back, and I'm getting back into shape and getting better, but the marriage still failing. And I get rid of the business, and eventually the marriage finally ends. And so I'm at a point where a single parent, and I can't go out and ride a bicycle for 4 hours and leave my young son sitting alone. So I was like, let me try this running thing again. But this time I'm going to do it right. Before, I'd never bought shoes. I just, whatever shoes were on sale at Academy or whatever. So I went to the running store and got them fitted and said, tell me what I need. And I would see also the pictures of my friends after 5Ks and stuff, and the post-run parties, and I was like, I want to be a part of that. That looks fun. So that was a slight motivation, but part of it was just to give me some exercise that I could do that didn't require a lot of time. I mean, I couldn't run a mile. And at the time, I was cycling a lot, and I could go do a 4-hour ride with no problem, but I couldn't run a mile. And I would have to walk, run. I'd run for a little bit, walk for a little bit. And I kept doing that, and then progressively got better, and eventually was able to do fairly well at the local 5Ks and halves and all of that. And I got way faster than I could have imagined with my short, stumpy legs. And that's not to say that I was fast. I was just faster than I expected, coming from where I started from, because it was very humbling to go from being a decent cyclist to being a horrendously bad runner. But at that point, everything else had beat me down, so it wasn't really. So being a bad runner was the least of my concerns. Oh, and in the middle of all the business stuff and the relationship stuff, my parents died. Specifically, my dad and I were very close. And not having that person to lean on and that person to talk to who had always been there, all of that combined led to just some dark days. But the fitness and then the running got me out of that, and it helped just getting myself back and getting back into shape and getting back a little bit of self-esteem, self-respect. And I think that translates to your friends and people you meet and all of that. And honestly, the friendships that come through cycling, present company excluded, but
dang, okay.
No, but
I'll remember this one day.
But no, the friendships and the people, and some of them, no, I would say most of my closest, dearest friends all come from this community. And it helps to be around great people and helps push you. But the running, like I said, I kept at it, and I got better and better at doing some of the local races. And I never did do a marathon, though. There was a point where I was running halves pretty consistently every week as part of my training. And there was one day, as we tend to do, I went out on a run. I was running 10 or 13 miles as my long run every weekend. One day I felt really good, and I decided to bump it up to 17.
That's why not.
The next day, my hip hurt, my ankles hurt, and I think you're not supposed to jump up that much.
Possibly.
So that sort of got in my head a little bit. But then also I had some shin issues and some other issues that sort of sidelined me for a little bit in running. And through the help of our great shoe stores and all the people around with much better knowledge than me helped me get back into running regularly and getting back out there on the road.
Dude, I did not know that. So one thing that I thought was interesting that you brought up, you nailed it when you said it's hard for a cyclist to go into running when you've never had that. Because that's part of my running story is that we have done all these century bike rides all over the state of Alabama, and I could, give me 8 hours on a bike, I was good, but I couldn't run from my front porch to the mailbox. Like, it was just, you would think cardio got this, but
it wasn't
it's
cardio.
It's two different things.
It's definitely two. And I had a lot of my triathlete friends telling me the same thing when I first started running. That I think it was said that running helps cycling, but cycling doesn't help running.
Absolutely.
And I'm a living testament to it. There was no advantage. And it was very frustrating because everything just hurt. It just hurt. I mean, all these weird little muscles that I didn't use, it hurt. And so it took a while to get over that little hump, but I needed something to keep me active and to keep the brain clear.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Let me also say this. You are, not that you need to hear this, and this will be the only time I ever compliment Willie Onderdonk. First of all, you're a great runner, let me just say that. But you're an amazing dad because I've watched you with Willie and now with Bree. And so just that whole extended family now has just been really cool because it's like, it's great for you to know that your kid has a place to go and that she's safe and that she's with people that love her. And Reed is an amazing kid. And I've told you and Michelle, I'm like, you guys, like, he's a great kid. So
well, thank you. And I'm very humbled because, I mean, it comes from, I mean, my dad had a huge influence on my life. And it was very hard because I lost him at a very young age for my son. It was my son's third birthday on the date.
Oh, wow.
And so my son has no real memories of my dad. And that hurts. It's tough because he was such a guiding force for me, and he's not there as a grandfather. He was for the first 3 years, but that's not the memory years for a young kid. And so that hurt. And that was probably one of the hardest things I ever had to deal with it was definitely the hardest thing. Personal struggles and personal failures, if you will, are tough, but losing him was definitely the biggest down point of my life.
Sure.
And adding all the rest of it on top of it led to some very dark days. But fitness and running and all of that helped pull a lot of that out. And friends helped pull that out of it. And that's why I try to be a positive role model for him and do what I can.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a great job.
Well, thank you.
Great job.
As are you.
No. No one that knows us is going to believe anything that Scott said.
It's all fake. Don't listen.
So obviously, and you've tapped on that a little bit, is that there's been some lessons that you've learned from running. So what are some of those?
Well, part of it is to keep going, to keep grinding. And one of my things with running, or actually with everything, I think I enjoy the grind or the training part of it as much as I do the actual racing. I think that, and back to the friendships, not to harp on it, but there's so many people in this running community that you know very well peripherally, but it is such a good community, and there's so many people of every different skill level. And just different people you would not meet in your everyday life. You might not come across all these different professions and people. And it's very interesting to make new friends.
Yeah. And you do that really well, Willie.
I try.
So I have to know, what is your favorite race?
My favorite race? I don't know if I have a favorite.
What? You have to have. I am shocked by this.
I thought about this long and hard, and I don't know if I have a favorite.
Okay.
I like the local races. It's fun to get together with a few friends and go travel to a race and do a race. But the aspect of after a race or during the race and seeing all these people and just the catching up with people and all of that. So I tend to favor the local races. I don't know if that sounds that's a boring
fair.
answer.
No, it's fair. It's fair. Do you have a favorite local race?
I would probably say the Azalea Trail Run just because of the amount of people that come out to it, and even the Mobile Marathon to a smaller extent, but definitely the Azalea Trail Run. I feel like a lot. And the community comes out for it,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of people. So
Yeah.
it's fun to see all the people.
Yeah. Good. That was a great answer. I approve.
Well, as long as I have your approval.
False. Okay. Let's talk about routine. Do you have a pre-race routine?
Let's see. I'm not regimented, but I eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich as my usual
Okay.
pre-race meal, or even pre-training meal. And I like the balance of carbs and fat and sugar and protein. And I'm probably all wrong with that, so nobody call me out on that.
That sounds
But
great.
it just works for me. But that and caffeine and finding a bathroom, that's pretty much my pre-race
Okay.
routine.
You cross the finish line. What does that post-race routine look like?
I'm pretty simple too. It's first thing's probably get the shoes off and get my UFOs on and find something to drink and socialize.
Ah. All right. Favorite running item?
I don't know that I have an item. Maybe my earbuds. If I'm running with friends, I don't wear them. I only wear them when I'm running by myself. But I really don't have anything that I have to have on every run. I did carry the phone when I was single dadding it for a while, just because security reasons. But I don't really have a favorite.
Okay. Favorite running shoes?
Now it is the Ultras Paradigm. He just fitted me in those, and it was a different adjustment to the zero drop. And I know nothing about shoes or technology or any of this. I went in before and they hooked me up with Mizuno's, and I was like, I like these, and so I just kept buying the same shoe. And I tried a few others, but I pretty much stuck to the same thing. And then he put me in these Ultras, and it's working for me. The wider toe box, and the zero drop was something to get used to, but I like it so far, and it seems to be working, which is the important thing.
Good. Yeah. Keeping you on the pavement.
Yeah.
Helping the calf out.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So you talked about a peanut butter and jelly sandwich before, which I think is a great idea, hands down. For your longer runs, is there something that you take to fuel?
Yeah, I'll take gels. And listening from others, I guess I'm fortunate that I don't have GI or intestinal issues or anything like that. I seem to digest everything fairly well. And I'll vary it. I like the SISs or the honey stingers, I've got a little bit of everything in my cupboard, and I'll rotate them out. But I like those. I like the honey stinger gummies and just gels.
Okay. Yeah. I like it. Do you have a favorite running memory? Like when you think about running, this just makes you smile, like this memory.
I've had a few. As far as a particular one, I think one of the ones that was memorable, and it's not even me, it's my wife. We were doing the Battleship 12K, and she was just coming off of an injury. You might know this story, but she was supposed to run it real easy, and because she was still recovering, and that was the whole plan. And so we ran separately, and I finished the race, and I'm standing there waiting, getting something to drink, and just kind of, and then like within minutes, I hear him call her name, because I was expecting to go change my shoes and all that, because we had agreed she was going to do a nice, easy run.
But Michelle doesn't know the name of that.
She didn't do that. And so they called her name while I was still standing at the finish line, or right in that vicinity. And so I fussed at her about that. And I think it set her back a little bit, so lesson learned, maybe.
But let me just share this memory. This is like one of my favorite memories. Is this past year for Battleship 12K, you and I were at the finish line.
Yeah.
And it was so fun because not only did we each get to see, you got to see Michelle and give her a medal, but I got to see Gray, and that was his first time doing Battleship. So we got to be there, but we were literally fighting over friends that were coming down that was so much fun.
That was a lot of fun. I've helped out with various events and stuff over the years, but that was definitely one of the most fun. It was probably the most fun I've ever had helping out with an event, because I wasn't in a position to run it, and to be able to do it and have a goofball like you beside me.
That's great.
And I do feel like you won you got more of the friends than I did. You were very mean and bullish to me.
That's 100% true. I will accept that as 100% accurate.
Yeah.
But that was so fun. That's like such a core memory for me.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a fun non-running run menu
right?
memory.
That was amazing. I love that. You mentioned earphones, so obviously you have a running playlist. So what does Willie listen to?
I have a very eclectic. It varies. I'm a hair metal kid from back in the day, but
I have heard about the mullet. That Willie was a mullet.
yeah. I had a little bit of long hair for a while. It was a phase. But I'll listen to podcasts. I'll listen to a wide assortment of music. It can be a lot of rock, a lot of classic rock, some rap. I've been listening to some Dolly Parton and Pitbull cover songs lately.
Hey,
I mean,
okay.
I like to mix it up or something different. So there's a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm. Now that you've said Dolly Parton, I'm just saying, just be prepared. Just be prepared for that, Willie.
That scares me. I'm not sure where that sentence is going.
Let's talk about recovery, because recovery for you has been crucial, because you've mentioned several times injuries that you've had. So is there a recovery tool that you really like?
I'm a throw everything at it type person. So I'm not real sure. I do the Normatex, I do the Theragun, I do the roller stick. I've actually found, and they keep saying this stretching thing helps. So I've started trying to incorporate that more. It's something new, I think. And I have found that some weight training I'm thinking that might be helping. And when I say that, I don't do heavy stuff anymore. I don't lift heavy. It's more body weight or lightweight, more functionally fit type stuff. But I think some of that is actually helping, just with range of motion and stretching the muscle and that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Cross training, so when you're not running, I know that you're on the bike.
I do a little bit of everything. I'm on the bike a lot, and I go to the gym a lot. And I've been trying to do more, I guess, what they call functionally fit type things, and a mix of that kind of stuff. And take a class on Sundays out at South to try to get a little more well-rounded, because I found that a lot of the things that I do, whether it's running or cycling, even old school weightlifting, it's very linear, and it doesn't really translate into real world everyday life. And so trying to get more loose and limber and more flexible all the way around. So I try to mix it up. And like right now, I'm doing pretty much all of it. So I'm not really good at anything right now.
You're good at everything, Willie. That's what you're supposed to say.
I'm not really a good runner or a good cyclist I'm just dabbling in all of it. But I found for once that I have a little bit of a balance, which is something I've never been good at. I'm very, very good at doing 110% of something until I burn out. So I've enjoyed just doing a little bit of all of it and not sinking everything into one particular sport, so that it helps me mentally a little bit.
Yeah, that's good.
But
that's
conversely,
really good,
I'm not very fast at any of it. So
yeah, okay. Coming from the fast, you know what? I'm not even going to go there. We've had this conversation, you and Michelle. Yeah, I'm calling you guys out. Whatever. Let's talk about, do you have a worst race that you're like, man, I wish I could go back and redo that?
Not really.
Okay.
No, they've all been great.
Okay.
No.
Wow.
No, I would say I've suffered in every one of them, but I've never had one that was just truly horrible. But I have suffered in every one of them.
That's fair.
No matter the length or the distance, they all hurt.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to somebody that wants to start hitting the pavement?
I would say commit to doing it, but go find one of these groups. There are so many groups out here, and I'm jealous because of the way I work. I can't attend a lot of these group runs, but there are so many great group runs out there, and you will find somebody at whatever level you're at. You will find somebody your speed, and most importantly, you'll make friends. And once you start doing that, you'll have somebody to keep you accountable and somebody that'll call you and say, hey, are we running Saturday? Or we doing this Wednesday? So I think that's a big step, and it's just good to have friends.
Yeah, good. Cool friends too. Let's throw that out there. Yeah.
And that's also another thing. If I've always found that having faster friends, if your goal is to get faster, run with faster people. It stinks in the beginning because you're always getting dropped, but you will get faster. But if that's not your goal, that's fine too. Whatever your purpose is in running, figure that out and stay with that. And your purpose can change.
Yeah.
Because mine has. Mine was strictly for fitness in the beginning, and then I took it a little more seriously for a while, and then now I'm back to the fitness aspect, and I enjoy doing it, but it doesn't have to be, it's not work.
That's good. Yeah.
So.
I'm still not running with you and Michelle. Just say.
Oh,
We've had that conversation.
You can run with us anytime.
No. Okay, in theory, yes. Sounds great. But yeah, no, even when Michelle was injured, even when you're injured, y'all's slow time is my fast time. So no, that's totally fine. No, it's totally good. Let's talk about goals, because you talked about dabbling in all of these areas.
Yes.
So do you have any goals?
Right now, no.
Okay.
Because like I said, I'm getting back to running and getting back to being able to run. So I just want to get better at it. But I don't have a specific goal or a pace. I would like to get back to what I was doing. But if I don't, that's fine. And I found this out through cycling years ago, and also in running. I enjoy the work. I enjoy the training. And I found that sometimes even with races, I like the lead up to the race as much as I do the actual race. Yeah. And I'm not sure what that says about me, but I like the punishment or the grinding of the training. And I like putting in the time and doing the work, because the payoff or lack of payoff goes by so fast. But I like doing the work. I think that's one of the things that I've always found, for whatever demented reason, I enjoy.
It's scary how similar we are, Willie. It's like terrifying, because I'm the same way. I'm like, I like going to my chorus. I like seeing, oh, here's my workout. I like knowing the next day, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like I accomplished something. I'm like, yeah, I did it. And now I get to move on.
Yeah. And a lot of times, as busy and as hectic and as tough as our daily lives are, a lot of times this is the most physical thing you're going to do.
Yeah.
And it helps set the pace for the rest of the day, or even the rest of the week sometimes. But it definitely helps. It always helps to feel like you've accomplished something, even if it's just a couple of mile run or a run walk or a walk. Just to get out, and every little bit helps, and it all moves further towards the end goal, whatever that goal is, whether it's to crush people at a marathon or whether it's to just be in good enough shape to toss the ball with your grandkids.
Yeah.
So
I like that. That's good.
yeah.
A mantra, because you talked about grinding it out. So obviously there are times where you're like, I just want to quit. Is there something you tell yourself to keep going?
I don't have like I said, it's that same thing of just putting my head down, so to speak, and doing the work.
Yeah.
And just to keep grinding through it. If I'm trying to finish a race or training run or whatever, it's more of that, just keep grinding it out until it's done. And not think about how much it hurts or how much I don't want to be doing it or how it's such a big mistake. But just let's get this job done and finish it.
Yeah.
So.
That's good. I like that. Keep grinding. That's
Yeah.
good. I like that. Do you have a favorite length to run?
It used to be a half. It
Okay.
used to be that 10 to 13 mile. I enjoyed those long runs on the weekends. I would do a few shorter runs during the week, and I enjoyed doing those longer runs on the weekend. And now I'm back down to my long run is a 5 or 6 mile. And so working my way back, but I enjoy that, like somewhere between that 3 to 5 mile today. That's my that's where I'm enjoying it right now.
Yeah, that's good. That's good,
So.
especially in the summer.
Yeah, it's miserable. And speaking of that, we went out this morning and ran out at South, and we saw some friends out there, and it was nice to see other people that were suffering along with us. So it's nice to a little wave and a hey, how's it going, or a quick little joke or something, to know that somebody else is out there suffering with you in this torturous heat and humidity.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it was rough today.
Yeah. When you're not running, what are you passionate about?
Cycling and family and friends, because like I said, going through a lot a few years ago made me really appreciate life and friendships. I'm going to get sappy here for a moment.
Do it, go for it.
But it is true. When you start losing things and life feels bad, you look around and go, well, it's not really that bad. And I've got some really good friends, and I've got some really, so I try to nurture that. And the same thing with my son. I try to be a good influence and a good father to him. I don't know if I'm always pulling it off, but you're trying. And I think that's the important thing. And I think that's what they see too, is that you're trying.
I would say you're doing a great job.
No.
And like I said, now you got an added kid that comes with him. So.
Yeah. Oh my God. This whole new dating life is a whole new world for me that I wasn't totally prepared for.
I don't think either one of us were.
It kind of surprised me. And I do feel like someone in this room actually might have egged some of this on, but
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm not pointing any fingers, but I could not have asked for a better person to be in his life, and we're lucky to have y'all as friends.
Absolutely.
So that's the end of my being nice to you.
We'll go back to the way things were. Any final words of wisdom?
I would say just keep grinding, keep doing it. Do it for whatever motivates you, whether it's to be fast or whether it's to just be healthy and to be around to see your grandkids. Or to crush your friends, whatever motivates you, but keep grinding and make friends.
That's good. Again, thank you, Willie, for your story, for your friendship.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So appreciate Willie so much, and the reminder to keep grinding it out, whether that's in life or on the pavement. What a beautiful reminder. And not only that, but to not do it alone. And that is powerful and a beautiful, beautiful reminder of how important we are to one another and the impact we make not only on the running community, but in each other's lives. And we do life together, and that is what is so important. And again, I cannot say how thankful I am for running and the family that it's brought me in Willie, Michelle, and Reed. I just love them dearly. I'm so grateful for them. And it's all because of running. And it makes me love this podcast even more and your stories even more, because I see how running intertwines us. It makes us one big family, and I love that so much. And again, so thankful to Willie and his run story and all the things that he's overcome. He's absolutely amazing. So love you, Willie. Love you, Michelle. You guys are absolutely amazing. And speaking of amazing, thank you to our Patreon supporters once again. You guys are the rock stars. Thank you for believing in Run Your Story. Thank you for supporting this podcast, not only financially, but also with your words of encouragement, the people you tell us to bring on, just the love that you have for this running community. You guys make it better, and I'm so thankful to know you guys and call you guys not only friends, but Run Your Story family members. So love you guys so much. And guys, you can join the Patreon community. We just had someone join this past week, and it got me so pumped, so excited. And so you guys can go to our website to check out more on that as well, and that's at Run Your Story. Guys, make sure you like, share, and comment Willie's story. It is so worth sharing as all the stories, and I'm so thankful. And also thankful for Mars Hill for giving us such a safe place to be able to share our hearts. As Willie shares, there's some tough moments in life, and you keep grinding it out, and you have those places that you can share that, and that's at Mars Hill. They believe in our running stories and what we're doing, and we're so grateful to have them. And as always, Gilliard Tech Services, guys, go check them out. He's absolutely amazing. He can build your brand spanking new one or give you a fresh look on that current website that you have. And he's got a little time before school starts, so definitely check him out at Gilliard Tech Services. He's online and social media. Definitely reach out to him. Because I can't tell you how much this podcast means to me and this community means to me. And having someone like Willie, who again, I've known for years, but to sit down and to know his story even more, that's beautiful. And I just treasure this podcast and what this running community means to me and how important your stories are. They are impacting all of us, especially me. Like I hold on to your stories so tightly, and I just thank you so much for sharing them. All right, guys, until next time, go run your story, because every story needs to be heard.